The night was eerily quiet as the mist rolled through the trees, causing a sudden chill to roll down the young female's back. She shuddered, goosebumps crawling along her skin, and the fine hairs on her body standing straight up. Her icy blue eyes glanced around her, just now realizing that the sun had set completely behind the horizon. Her head snapped to the left, where her two older siblings and their friend were rustling around like they always seemed to do. "Hey, guys, it got dark. We should probably head back to the jeep," she called out to them, an uneasy feeling starting to settle in the pit of her stomach. It was the middle of spring, so she didn't know why the temperature felt so cold against her bare skin. She looked down at her short denim shorts and flower-printed crop top. She could have sworn that a few moments ago she had been dying for a drink of water due to the humidity, but now she was desperate for a cardigan. "Oh, stop being such a big baby, Gigi," her brother Max teased while the other two laughed. Gigi frowned at Max's ignorance, causing her to stand from the fallen log she was seated upon to walk over to the three. She grabbed Max's arm and gave a little shove, trying to make him face her. "Max, you don't understand. Something's seriously wrong here. I don't know how to explain it, but will you please just listen to me for once? I know I'm younger, but that doesn't mean I'm dumber." Gigi was cut off by the snapping of twigs in the distance ahead of her. The others must have heard it too, because they all rotated their heads in the direction of their noise. I'd switch rotated because it sounds like 360 grudge. Their laughter ceasing almost in unison. Gigi swallowed her saliva in a gulp, all muscles in her body tensing as she prepared for the worst. Her eyes stayed peeled to the cluster of trees that seemed to be hiding whatever seemed to be lurking there. "It's probably just a doe that got startled. Nothing serious," a new voice proclaimed. Gigi glanced to the right of her. It was her sibling's friend, Arian. Of course, Gigi thought he was remarkably handsome. His chiseled features always stood out to her when he came over, making him look like a marble Greek statue. His eyes seemed to almost glow with a vibrant green light, making her heart jump each time she even said hello. "Are you sure it isn't a wild boar? I heard those things can get pretty aggressive when it feels threatened." Gigi's sister Erica spoke to Arian. She didn't need to look at her to know that she was frowning, trying to determine what had made the disturbance. "It could be, but if that was the case, it would have already charged by now, wouldn't you think?" Max crossed his arms, still staring at the trees before shrugging. "I'll go check it out." He then began to walk towards the line of trees. "Wait, Max, I'm coming with you. Surely it's nothing more than a frightened animal, but if it's a boar, well, you're gonna need help." Erica laughed at her minor jab at her brother's strength. Gigi couldn't help but to stare with fear. Something didn't feel right. She took a step forward, her left arm raising in the air as if to reach for her elder siblings. She opened her mouth to call for them to come back, but before she knew it, Arian was lifting her over his shoulder and hauling her away. She blinked and focused her attention on him. "Arian, wait, don't. It's too late for them. There's nothing I can do." "What?" "I know you feel it in your gut, Gigi. The ominous pull that something bad is going to happen. And I'm sorry that I realized it too late." "Arian, just what are you talking about?" Gigi was cut off by the piercing scream of her sister, followed by the agonized yell of her beloved brother. She struggled to look, but it was hard to make things clear when Arian broke into a full sprint. She did see one thing, blood staining the luscious green grass. It looked like Christmas, only with horror. The amount of blood was enough to make anyone guess one thing: death. "I told you not to look, Gigi." "Arian." Gigi's voice was nothing but a whisper as the scene faded from her widened eyes, the only image of it left to embed her brain. The glass shattered on the floor after making the short way down from the countertop. Everyone around, by the way, this is chapter 1 now, we shifted scenes. Everyone around to see it casted quizzical stares, concern and caution in their pupils. One fellow even attempted to confront the woman, who seemed to have dropped the glassware. "You alright there, darling?" He reached out to place his hand on her shoulder. Wrong move. She sprang up from the bar stool, grabbing his hand and giving it a painful twist. The man let out an abrupt cry of pain the instant she touched him. Other people staring began to move forward in willingness to help the individual being attacked. They all began to shout, causing the scene to get even more out of control. "What's wrong with you, lady? He just wanted to help." "Let the feller go. Are you mad?" The last question got to her, and she blinked as a response to such a question. The words were so familiar that it stirred up emotions within her core, which scared her senseless. The flashback was more than enough to convince her she needed one of two things: to sleep for hours on end, or to get drunk. Hell, maybe both. Anything to help distract her from the thoughts and memories swarming her head at the current time. She didn't need it. It was going to drive her absolutely insane. Who was she kidding? She was already insane. Snapping back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. She found the man's hand still firmly in her grip while a few continued to shout. Almost as quickly as she latched on, she dropped the limb and slammed the bill on the counter large enough to cover her tab before making her way to the closest exit. Keep the change for the scene. Once she made it past the doors of the bar, she turned right into the dark alleyway no one dared go. It had its own reputation, one that many wanted no part of. She leaned up against the brick wall, allowing the jagged surface to dig into her back as her arm shook. Damn it, she scolded herself. Stop slipping away from reality. It only makes it all worse for you. With a deep breath, she slammed her fist into the wall, inhaling sharply as pain rushed through her arm and blood down her knuckles. She stood there, eyes closed as she straightened herself back into the stone-cold killer that she was. There was no time to reminisce, for she had a job to do. Sleep first, idiot. The female made her way through the shadows, keeping out of sight while her legs dragged her to her set destination. It were swamp. It were as if she were on autopilot. It's as if. You can remove the word there and just put, it's as if she were on autopilot. As she left the party area, she slipped her black mask up over the bridge over her nose and kept her eyes low. The buildings began to look run down and abandoned, though she knew better. Keeping her senses on high alert and a dagger ready to be drawn, she continued to allow her feet to lead her through alleys and turned corners, delving deeper into the shitty area. As she walked by another alleyway entrance, she noticed the outline of a figure, and tensed almost too late. Someone slammed her into a wall, nearly pinning her helpless. She growled, quickly recovering and ducking down, placing a hand on the concrete and swiping her leg to knock her attacker off their feet. She quickly leapt back and snatched the dagger hidden from view, her eyes darting around to count 3 bodies surrounding her. Turning her body so that she could keep an eye out on all of them, she gave the dagger a single twirl, the moonlight dancing along her violet hues, which held a dangerous gleam. The figures halted and stood where they were as a male spoke. Nocturnal, you're back. Her eyes rolled back before she pulled her mask back down. Only a few organizations knew who she was by sight, and only one was in this area. Gray Shadows. Missed me. Ironic. She gave a soft snort, not breaking her form. Shall I take you to him? Who? Cloven? I don't need you to find him. I could probably find him better than you ever could. The male took a step forward, obviously offended by the commentary. She waved him off. I made it this far, didn't I? If it weren't for you 3, I'd be with him already. With her words spoken, she set back off in the direction she was going, grudgingly slipping her dagger back into hiding. Truth was, Nocturnal could find Cloven better than almost anyone. The bond they had was both a curse and a gift. She didn't know which she leaned towards more. She was a Malkavian vampire, a royal pain in the ass, and the very being she was created to destroy. On the other hand, she risked her life to save a little girl from his bloodthirst, and as a result, Cloven had saved her own life from himself. He has become the one person she both despised and loved. She found herself at his door. With a grimace, she turned the knob and stepped across the threshold, carefully shutting the door behind her. Came to no surprise as she set foot into a bar scene, glasses neatly stacked like towers and bottles of liquor lining the shelves. Of course, one was missing. She shifted her gaze towards the figure hunched over the counter, bottle of bourbon in hand. And that's the end. You want more of this vampire shit? Check Etyrna. She did it. She wrote it. You gotta fix like only 2 mistakes. Honestly, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's good. Oh, that's all. Drama Alert Nation.